Hey, welcome. Today I wanted to discuss money means nothing if you're living in the animal kingdom. Meaning, many times I talked about um, this society and how, you know, what it's all built on, what it's made of, and what it is. I'm sorry about that. What it is in all reality, and how people, you know, a lot of propaganda to make foreigners want to come to this place, give up their language, give up their mother tongue, give up their everything. Because, I've said it before. I've said it many times before that this language we speak, one can't talk about somebody being at a certain level in their intellect and you still don't realize that the very language that we speak in itself is destructive to humanity. That's if it wasn't, you think people would freely give you anything that is good and beneficial to the world? Do you really seriously think that they would teach you, allow you to speak this language if it was magical, mystical, powerful, something that would you could benefit and free yourself from? No. Matter of fact, they took away languages from people. Our people, they took our language away. So you can't really put in a conversation about someone's educational level when if you speak in English, you're at the lowest. We're at the lowest of the low, the lowest of the low, because we no longer have the tongue, um, and we're speaking damnation, a lot of damnation. We're speaking a lot of majority of nonsense because most languages, foreign languages, a lot of the things that our language breaks down and give understanding to things that really don't necessarily need that. That's what. That's why, in order for those to understand the people that spoke higher languages or foreign languages, they needed to pull you down to their level of babble, of nonsense. And that's what English has caused. That's just facts. We speak a language that is destructive. They talk about nothing but they have you sprucing out nothing but nonsense, foolishness, and influencing other people with the nonsense and the foolishness. See, um, that's the way they want brainwashing. They want mind control. They want people to not be able to think for themselves or think any other way, but be stuck in one way of thinking or certain ways of thinking. And that's what happened to majority of our people on this planet. When they start, that is, speaking a younger language such as English, which they gave to the whole world for a reason. They enforced the whole world to know this language that they would so that they can throw away their tongue. And I say English alone destroys a lot of nations, a lot of countries. But let's get into not only the language, but also the fiat, the money, and why it was important for them to also not only give you a language that will cause you to be destructive and unwise, but they also put money out here for the fool to be a fool and continue to the destruction, to march for the destruction, to advocate for the destruction. And I got this little clip here because I thought it was interesting. The same thing I see. They say art imitates true life, but I think art. I think it's definitely not the other way around. Life does imitate. Art imitates life. That's the truth. That's what it does. And we're gonna see in this clip.
This is some bitch, all this. You must need me pretty bad. What do you want?
Well, Eddie was right. I want you to take over the firm. You and your sister.
Is that it?
No. She's ovulating right now.
What?
Your vanity is justified, Kevin. Your seed is the key to a new future. Your son is going to sit at the head of all tables, my boy. He's going to set this whole thing free.
You want a child?
I want a family.
The Antichrist.
Whatever.
But I have to volunteer.
Free will, it is a bitch. Kevin, I need a family. I need help. I'm busy. Millennium's coming. So. Title 5, round 20. Oh, I'm ready to work. What do you say, kid?
What are you offering?
We negotiating?
Always.
Yes!
What are you offering?
Everything. Anything. What do you want? How about bliss for starters? Instant bliss. Bliss on tap. Bliss any way you want it. How about that first line of cocaine? That walk into a strange girl's bedroom. Familiar?
Oh, you're gonna have to do a little better than that.
I know. I'm just getting warmed up. You want more, don't you? You deserve more. How about the thing you love the most? Smile from a jury. Ooh, that cold courtroom just giving itself over. Bending to your strength.
I get that on my own.
Not like this. I take the bricks out of the briefcase. I give you pleasure. No strings. Freedom, baby, is never having to say you're sorry. This is revolution, Kevin. Viva la causa!
It happened in Monterey a long time ago.
Forget about him.
I met her in
This is about us.
in old Mexico. Stars and and steel guitars and luscious lips as red as wine.
Devin, you don't know how hard it's been for me to wait for you.
Broke somebody's heart.
Why the law?
And I'm afraid that it
Cut the
was
shit, Dad.
mine.
Why lawyers? Why the law?
Because the law, my boy, puts us into everything. It's the ultimate backstage pass. It's the new priesthood, baby. Did you know there are more students in law school than there are lawyers walking the earth? We're coming out! Guns blazing! The two of you, all of us, acquittal after acquittal after acquittal, until the stench of it reaches so high and far into heaven, it chokes the whole fucking lot of them.
In the Bible, you lose. We're destined to lose, Dad.
Well, consider the source, son. Besides, we're gonna write our own book. Chapter 1. Right here. This altar. This moment.
Will you stop talking? You talk too much. Both of you.
There you go. Basically, when you're in the animal kingdom, there's no need for money. It's only power. There's power. There's certain kind of power. There's power of sex. There's power of killing, fighting, beating, stealing, all of that. That's what they do in the animal kingdom. If we watch the and I think that it's pretty shallow, pretty shallow for one to say what. Let me see what this thing does.
Fighting. Not just to survive, but to reign supreme over the savage kingdom.
I think this is when it is like that makes it
Rule of the kingdom is
and
reserved for the
bring
strong.
because they have power. They have and
Queen of the great marsh,
they clearly goes out.
keeper of the marsh pride, Matsumi. Slaying giants is her speciality. Proof of absolute power. Get this wrong and you're dead. It takes brute strength and iron will. The Marsh Pride's power is unrivaled. Their place on the throne is secure. For now. This hard-won fortune feeds the next generation. Matsumi is growing her army.
So, so the question would be, so the question would be, is society built on true humanity, or is this built off of, I would say it's built off of myself, from the history of this country, the history of the world, hearing about conquering, taking over, controlling, stealing, killing, raping, pillaging. This is the foundation. The animal kingdom is the foundation of everything now. Everything. Everything. It's like they look towards the wild for the design of who they are, and have influenced them upon a people who never had to have this before. But now there's people talking and telling young females that you have to be animalistic. You have to try to get this guy. When, in all reality, if this guy wants to be with you and he has it going on like he says, or like they say he's got it going on, then you shouldn't have to put yourself out there for that at all. There's no reason to put yourself out there for that, because you're asking for something else. You're not asking for anything that is solid, stable, true. You're asking for a lion. You might as well be asking to be kept by a lion. And of course, animals don't have that same things that we have, the emotional attachment. They have a disconnect with each other, with their children, with their offspring. It's a doggy, it's a wild world out there for them. Sometimes people, humans observe them and they think that they want to impose human characteristics upon these animals, when these animals don't have the same things we have at all. But then they bring it into humanity, and they want to say, or they want to try to combine being an animal with their humanity. And there is no way you can do that. Because, so basically, the system has been where they took natural resources, things of nature, and put a price tag on everything and subjugate those who don't have those things, thus creating the animal kingdom. Not humanity, but not a civilization, but an animal kingdom, where those who sense or feel like they have some sort of power over something else, then they can place that upon the weak. They can put their power upon the weak and feed off of them to make themselves feel better, more powerful. That's just it's like white saying white is better than what they call, quote unquote, black. But we know that black and white is one, it's the same word, no different. Colorless. But that is projected upon us to be black because they would like to see no color in us, or that specialness, that special thing we have, which is our color, to be unseen, basically. Be unseen. So basically, when you look at it, it is a form of, definitely a form of control. And a way to get one to not think for themselves at all, but to think in the way that they want you to think, and to act in the way they want you to act, and be what they want you to be. And that's a piece of meat. So Shallow Hal wants to tell young girls that this successful guy, which, what is stopping them girls from being successful and having money? Nothing. Nothing. Nothing is stopping you from being more successful than most men. Only the lack of knowledge of self, because knowledge is power. You know yourself, you're empowering yourself. Call it pseudo, perhaps. But if you call it pseudo, you would never know. So basically, when you don't know yourself, you can be suckered into what the devil advocate wants you to be sucked into, because he's advocating for devilish ways. And the talk is foolish talk. It's no wise talk. It's not saying, young lady, be ready for a good man to come your way. It's not saying simple things like that. It's saying a good man does not want you. So you have to do such and such and such to change yourself. So if you have to change yourself for a good man, that's not worth it. Mm-mm. You should already, I preach over here, self-love. And he should have self-love. Because if he has self-love and he knows himself, he knows that he's not Shallow High's guy who wants a 10 necessarily. And who says what's a 10? When you're not even probably a 10 yourself, but you want to go and judge others to be a 10. You know, it's just nonsense. It's foolishness. It's animal kingdom. It's animal thinking. It's animal way of being. It's that doggy dog world, and that get them before they get me. Because one brother said, it's the woman that decides that it has the choice. The woman does have the choice. You have the choice of what man you choose to be in your life, what type of man, what kind of man. You have to lay down standards. You have to set your standards for what you want. That's very important. Laying down your standards and self-love is very important. That's what's going to move you away from the animal kingdom, because you're not just going to be a 10, just accepting any old thing, because you can be a destructive 10. And there's plenty of them in the world. I don't care what color. I don't care what nation, what I don't care what they look like. They have some kind of issue and they're running around like a lioness or like a wolf or like a dog. And it's just, this is not just allocated to one spot. It's just no such thing. Shallow How would think that it's just one spot, one group of women. Impossible. Impossible. Because it started somewhere before it trickled down, like HIV. HIV wasn't a black woman thing starting out. Black men leaving the home wasn't a black man thing first. It started somewhere else. Everything started somewhere else and it trickled down. That's why leadership is shitty in this country. Because it's obvious we have a president that's shitty. We have a president that's shitty. So we have a shitty nation. Shitty animal kingdom nation. Full of savages that want to influence others to be savage, to not be wholesome, not love themselves, but hate themselves and love thy wealth. To hate thyself and love thy wealth. And that's not humane. That's not humanity. That's not, even though I want to separate myself from humanity, period, as well, because I think it's maybe a lower tier as well, as like not that far from the animal kingdom. So I don't know what to tell you, but it's definitely not just one group of people. When you're in a group, it seems like it's just your group. But if you're not paying attention, you're not seeing the destruction that had already started before it trickled down to us to be this big explosion. It's always been. It's something that's just always been. You can't build peace, harmony, love off of something that never was that. You can't have a foundation that is a crumbling foundation and expect it to hold up a strong building. It's just not going to do it. It's just not going to do it. It's going to all come crumbling down eventually. And don't think that, if you're in the animal kingdom, like these 5 cops, like this high, what's her name? I forgot what she is, but you just got to realize they have careers. You can't give people with an animal mentality. They have careers, but they also have an animal mentality. What good is that going to do you? This guy was talking about to these young girls that this man, so-called wealthy black man, do you think he wants to settle for something that is plain. But how do you know? You shallow. You making it seem like every man is shallow. Not all men are shallow. Not all men that are black, want that type of woman or want that type of attention on them or want. You don't know what they want. You don't know what anybody wants. We don't know what anybody wants. No. You don't know why anybody would climb up that ladder to gain that wealth. You don't know. We never know. That's their thing. So you can't really say what somebody wants, what they really want. And it's just sad that people think in this little box when it's so much bigger. And I that's one thing I could never stand is people thinking this small when it's huge and it's more bigger than that. You can think you're going to find better, but what is better? What is better? What's the price I have to pay for better? I had to humble myself down. What's better? What is better? What is better? It's just also ludicrous. But these are the days and times that we live in. And it seems like the animal kingdom is winning. Like people want to be animalistic, that have the animal mind frame. It seems to do better. Certain characteristics, yeah, you take from the animals, but you leave the animals kingdom to the animal kingdom. And understand those as aspects, as certain aspects of those animals. You don't worship anything. The only thing you want to worship is the temple, your body that holds great things. The blood of giants that walk the earth and no longer walk the earth. Their knowledge, their wisdom, to know the difference of who you are, what you are, and why you are. Definitely not here to worship and see things as pieces of meat. Or to feel like you have to be worshipped. No, you worship yourself. You worship your ancestors within you. And worship, to me, is going all out war, utilizing the temple, the body, and what's within there. The soldiers within. So although, things are meant to be destructional, once you know or have the knowledge that it was meant to be destruction, you can unwind it and make it not destructive for you. That it takes this. It takes the mind. It takes knowing that I'm going to focus on my right path. Even though I take many paths, it doesn't matter me taking those many paths because I'm focused. I know where I'm going. I know who I am. I know what I am and why I exist. It's not to play second tier to anyone. It's not to be an animal. But it is to be animated and creative and loving and positive and high spirited and life giving. All of those good, positive things and uplifting. Never, never. Who wants to live that life? Who wants to live this life of a lonely animal?
Empires are held by soldiers. Size and numbers matter. But leadership is everything. No monarchy is immortal. Enemies gather on all sides and prepare for war.
Always remember, true love requires sacrifice.
A lion's power is broad.